spells this week. Glem McGrath and his favourite pastime of palm bashing. Zakar Yunus at his fiery best against the Aussies at Trent Bridge, Nottingham. And Venkatesh Prasad's perfect exploitation of the Lord's pitch in the summer of 1996.
What a delivery that is. It's taken.
Oh, he's bowled it.
Oh, he's knocked him over. What a ripper. Holding down, gone.
Hello again, and glad you can join us for another edition of Super Spells. We're talking in this programme about bowling in England, and many people talk about that. It's quite a little phrase, isn't it? Bowling in England. So is it special? Well, this man is special, and he was for 10 years with the county of Lancashire and, of course, with Pakistan when he went there. Wasim, tell us about that. What is different about bowling in England?
First of all, the conditions, it rains a lot there, and then obviously the wickets are more wet. So, I mean, they're not fast wickets. They swing and see more, as you know, with your experience playing for Glamorgan and Gloucester. I remember when we were touring in '87, Imran told me to go and play one season in league. So I went to play in a place called Burnopfield up at Durham, where I think Colin Melbourne played for that particular club. And I got paid £50 a week there. And I thought I was going to get lots of wickets because people told me, oh, it seams and it swings and it does this. But again, you have to adapt those conditions very quickly because of the very cold, because body is not warmed up quickly. But once you get hold of those conditions, you can get a lot of wickets, and you have to pitch it up there.
Thanks very much indeed, Wasim. £50 a week, overpaid. OK, let's talk about one of the great Australian bowlers, Glem McGrath. This is the Ashes series of 1997. Mark Taylor's Australians in England, and Michael Atherton is the England captain. Well, England had won the first Test match convincingly by 9 wickets. Incidentally, England had whitewashed the Aussies in the one-day series, so there's a bit of catching up to do here for Mark Taylor's Aussies. It's the second Test at Lord's. Australia have won the toss and they put England into bat. Have a look at this for a spell.
Shout of catch it, and Butcher walks off. Doesn't even wait for the umpire's decision. Glem McGrath got better and better, and he's now dismissed Mark Butcher. Another failure for England's new opener.
It's a big inside edge onto the pad. No real movement there. Greg Blewett does the rest. You won't get many easier ones than that at bat pad.
In the air, and beautifully taken. That is a super catch. It died on Mark Taylor. Didn't look as if it would quite get to him. And he had to go to his right, and he had to go forward. A lovely piece of slip catching.
Super catch from Mark Taylor. The ball just holding its line on the slope. Went hard and fast to Mark Taylor's right hand. You see the ball just holding its line. We were talking about the slope before. Flying hard and fast to Mark Taylor's right hand, and a very, very good catch low down to his right. Another angle. Low down. Eyes on the ball, 2 hands on it, very well taken.
Bowled him! Top draw from Glem McGrath. Just the way to bowl it, Alex Stewart, first up in his innings. And he's nipped one back off the seam and done the trick.
Well, here's what we've been talking about, the slope playing a little role in that dismissal. The previous ball bouncing and going away, that particular delivery coming back down the slope.
Has been done by Glem McGrath with a ferocious nip backer. There's a bit of a slope here at Lord's as it is. That ball shaping to go away from the right-hander, darting back off the seam, and Stewart offering no stroke. Loses the outside of his off stump, and he'll be sitting in the dressing room wondering what on earth he could have done about that. It's been top-class stuff from McGrath out there this morning. In the air, well bowled. Lovely stuff from McGrath. He's benefited from keeping such an accurate line, committing Crawley to the stroke, nipping a couple back into him, and then getting one to go straight on up the hill.
And as we were talking about the difficulties of playing on this wicket with the slope, the ball just carries on its line. John Crawley playing bat and pad close together, but unfortunately for him, catching a thinnish outside edge. He's bowled a fantastic line, Glem McGrath, and that's a perfect example of it. This ball holding its line up the slope, catching the outside edge.
That's very straight and gone. The first ball after the resumption, Nasser Hussain goes. LBW to Glenn McGrath. And the England collapse continues. They're now 62 for 6.
Really good ball this from McGrath, very full. Hussain getting over towards off stump. But that is plumb. Trapped on the crease, hit below the knee roll.
That's out this time. Big flash from Croft, trying to force the pace. But he's the latest to go. England 66 for 7, and it's another one to Glenn McGrath.
Well, it's a fraction short and wide. It's a loose stroke from Croft, but he's decided to chance his arm and has failed, flashing a catch through to Healy. McGrath strikes again, and England lose their 7th wicket.
High in the air, Ian Healy is underneath it and takes it. So the little bit of magic from Darren Gough is over, and Australia retain control.
It's good aggressive bowling. Glenn McGrath is now his best in Test cricket. He knows that Darren Gough's going to have a go at everything, and he's banged it in. He's got it straight. That was the important thing, and high. And Ian Healy will accept those all day long.
Pretty comfortable catch for Ian Healy. Ian Botham was about to tell us that Gough took 26 wickets in the winter's touring, 5 Test matches, and made only 25 runs, so we couldn't expect too much of him at the moment. He's fallen away from those heady days of Australia 2 or 3 years back. That must be out, surely, and is. Glenn McGrath has the best figures by an Australian ever in a Test match at Lord's. Fantastic performance from the tall Australian seamer, beating the performances of Bob Massey here. They were both in the same match in 1972 when he took 8 in both innings. That is quite an effort from Australia.
Well, time lost, of course, with day one completely washed out, and the rain, you might say, coming to the aid of England. Match drawn, but England bowled out for 77. That's their lowest total at Lord's since 1888. Can you believe? Glenn McGrath, 8 for 38. A magnificent spell of fast bowling from the Australian. Well, you've talked about bowling in England and what it does for you. McGrath exploited those conditions perfectly, and that's all really that you have to do. And he bowled with pace, but he bowled it in the right places, didn't he?
Right places is the key word, and extra bounce he's good because he's tall and he gets extra bounce, and he does bowl, he swing the ball both ways as well, so that can be very difficult for batsmen at times. But it depends what sort of summer you have in England. If it's a dry summer, then it might reverse swing in June, but if it's a wet summer, by end June the wicket still at Lord's does a lot. In fact, I have played there a lot, but again, for McGrath, 8 wickets is like getting 2 wickets in a Test match. I never got 8 wickets in Test match. He's got 2-3 already.
Yeah, it's fantastic. 8 wickets for Glenn McGrath at Lord's and doing the business for Mark Taylor's Australians. But that was match drawn.